Before humans understood the force of eternal ice, before science explained how life endures in the most extreme cold, there already existed a kingdom where only the most ferocious could survive. In the wild Arctic, between frozen seas, white storms, and endless nights, predators advance in silence, hunting under the relentless rules of the ice. Welcome to Wild Arctic, the frozen kingdom where the most ferocious predators reign. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to give us more motivation to keep creating quality content. Don't forget to comment below on what you thought of the video and tell us where you are watching from so we can chat together. Let's begin. In the vast frozen ocean of the Arctic, where ice dominates the horizon and temperatures drop far below 0 degrees Celsius, the polar bear rules as the supreme predator of this extreme world. Its scientific name is Ursus maritimus, meaning sea bear, a perfect description for an animal that depends on the ice to survive. An adult male can exceed 600 kilograms, making it the largest land carnivore on the planet. Its thick layer of fat and dense fur protect it from temperatures capable of endangering most other mammals. Although it appears slow on the snow, it is a tireless traveler capable of covering dozens of kilometers in search of food. In the Arctic, survival depends on one main prey, the seal. Most of its energy comes from the fat of these marine mammals, a vital resource for enduring the long polar winters. During certain periods of the year, a polar bear can endure weeks or even months with very little food available. The bear detects a breathing hole used by a seal under the ice and positions itself nearby without making a sound. It remains motionless for long periods, enduring wind, snow, and extreme temperatures while waiting for an opportunity. When the seal emerges to breathe, the bear launches an explosive attack using all the power of its front legs. The hunt ends in seconds because on the Arctic ice, a single opportunity can mean the difference between survival and starvation. Its extraordinary sense of smell can detect seals at great distances or even under layers of compact snow. As an apex predator, it regulates seal populations and plays a fundamental role in the ecological balance of the Arctic. In the far north of the planet, the polar bear symbolizes resilience, adaptation, and the extraordinary capacity of life to thrive in extreme conditions. Beyond the pack ice and frozen floes, in the vast Arctic tundras, the Arctic wolf roams a world where snow dominates the landscape for much of the year. Its scientific name is Canis lupus arctos, a subspecies adapted to survive in some of the coldest environments on the planet. Its thick white coat provides insulation against the cold and also helps it blend into the snowy landscape. Unlike many solitary predators, the wolf depends on the collective strength of the pack to survive. Each group maintains a complex social structure where dominant individuals lead decisions regarding movement, defense, and hunting. This organization allows the pack to act as a single unit against the challenges of the Arctic. Among its most important prey is the muskox, a powerful herbivore that can far outweigh an individual wolf. When they detect a herd, the wolves begin to observe the behavior of each individual, looking for signs of weakness or fatigue. The group selects a vulnerable prey and distributes itself strategically over the snow to control its movements. The wolves detect a young muskox slightly separated from the center of the group and fix all their attention on it. They begin to surround it gradually, using endurance, coordination, and constant pressure to reduce its escape options. When the opportunity appears, several members accelerate at the same time and launch a coordinated attack from different angles. The hunt ends thanks to collective work, because in the Arctic, cooperation is often more valuable than individual strength. After the capture, the entire pack participates in feeding, following an order influenced by social hierarchy. Howls help maintain group cohesion and allow for communication over long distances across the open tundra. As apex predators, Arctic wolves regulate populations of large herbivores and contribute to the ecological balance of the far north. In the white immensity of the Arctic, the wolf proves that survival depends not only on strength, but also on discipline, cooperation, and collective intelligence. When autumn fades on the horizon and the first snowstorms cover the tundra, a small guardian begins its transformation. The Arctic fox is a master of disguise, a strategist that changes its brown fur for a pure white coat to blend with the ice. Weighing barely 4 kilograms, this small predator possesses a resilience that defies the most extreme conditions on the planet. Its body is designed to conserve heat, with small ears and a dense tail that wraps around its face like a thermal blanket. In the White Desert, where the temperature drops to 50 degrees Celsius below zero, hunger is a constant shadow that never rests. To survive the long winter, the fox becomes the most skillful opportunist of the polar regions. It possesses an extraordinary sense of hearing, capable of detecting the subtle movement of lemmings under a 30-centimeter layer of snow. It stops in silence, tilting its head to triangulate the exact position of its prey hidden in the frozen labyrinth. Suddenly, the fox leaps into the air and dives headfirst into the snow with surgical precision. Just 3 seconds of quick action allow its jaws to catch the small rodent before it can escape. However, lemmings are not always enough to satiate the need for energy in the heart of the storm. It is then that the Arctic fox demonstrates its audacity. Following the trail of a much more dangerous giant, the polar bear. It becomes a silent shadow following the large carnivore at a safe distance, waiting for the remains of its next kill. It takes advantage of the seal leftovers the bear abandons, consuming the vital fat that will allow it to endure another night of 60 km/h winds. The fox is a tireless gatherer, hiding food in rock crevices during the autumn to use as a reserve in times of scarcity. Its tactical intelligence is its greatest weapon in a world where brute force is often insufficient against the cold. Every step on the snow is a calculation of survival, a dance between life and oblivion in the Arctic void. The Arctic fox teaches us that size does not define power, but the ability to adapt to the most drastic changes in the environment. It is the persistent spirit of the tundra, a wisp of white life that shines in the darkness of the polar winter. In the balance of nature, this little strategist is a reminder that intelligence is the safest refuge. As long as the ice continues to cover the north, the Arctic fox will continue its silent patrol as the ghost of the frozen desert. Beneath the infinite crust of the frozen ocean, where light filters through as a pale blue and silence is absolute, beats the most resilient life of the pole. The ringed seal, with its circular patterns etched into its skin, is the silent architect of the air tunnels beneath the ice. Weighing only 60 kilograms, this small mammal is the pillar that sustains the food pyramid of the Arctic desert. It uses its strong claws to scrape the ice, keeping open vital breathing channels that pierce through 2-meter-thick walls. On the surface, it builds hidden snow layers, secret refuges where the temperature is much warmer than the frigid exterior. In these white bunkers, mothers give birth to their pups, protecting them from the 80 km/h biting wind. However, the refuge is not impenetrable to the infallible sense of smell of the great lord of the north, the polar bear. The bear patrols the snowfield, detecting the presence of the seal from more than 1 kilometer away through the frozen layers. The ringed seal is nature's currency, transforming the ocean's energy into the life of the largest predators. Its existence teaches us that in the Arctic, the safest home is always on the edge of the abyss and just a breath away from danger. On the frozen coasts where the Arctic Sea meets the grey-streaked land of ice, a mass of flesh and ivory dominates the horizon. The walrus is a titan of the northern seas, a biological ironclad that can weigh more than 1,500 kilograms of pure muscle and fat. Its ivory tusks, natural spears that can reach 1 meter in length, are symbols of status and tools of absolute power. Beneath its rough skin, marked by age, a 10-centimeter thick layer of fat protects it from 0 degrees Celsius waters. These giants live in massive colonies, where thousands of bodies huddle together, seeking shared warmth under the pale polar sun. Space on ice floes is a scarce luxury, and every centimeter is won with shoves and displays of brute force. Although they seem clumsy on land, they use their tusks as powerful hooks to drag their massive bodies out of the current. They descend to a depth of 80 meters to search for mollusks, using their highly sensitive vibrissae to detect life in the dark mud. Tension in the colony explodes when a young male attempts to claim a privileged spot, provoking the wrath of the sovereign guarding the group. The air fills with thunderous bellows as the giants rise on their flippers to begin the clash of wills. Tusks strike thick skin with a force of thousands of newtons, in a dance of violence and survival. Only 3 seconds of direct combat decide who will keep their place on the sacred ice and who will return to the cold water. The loser retreats humiliated, leaving the victor with new scars etched into his armor of flesh like war medals. The Arctic's accelerated melting reduces their natural refuges, causing deadly stampedes that threaten the smallest members of the herd. The walrus teaches us that in a world melting beneath its feet, strength is not just for fighting, but for supporting one another. In the vastness of the Arctic tundra, where the horizon is blurred under a crystal mist and the wind howls with fury, an ancestral presence emerges. The muskox is not a simple herbivore. It is an Ice Age survivor that has turned its body into an impregnable refuge. Weighing up to 400 kilograms, this giant with curved horns is a mountain of muscle wrapped in layers of history and wool. Its coat, composed of a long outer layer and an undercoat called kiviut, protects it from extreme temperatures of 50 degrees Celsius below zero. When the Arctic storm hits with gusts of 100 kilometers per hour, the muskox does not seek shelter, it becomes the shelter. From the shadows of the perpetual white, a pack of Arctic wolves emerges, surrounding the herd in search of a crack in its defense. Faced with the threat, the adults activate an instinctive military tactic. They form a closed circle with their heads and horns pointing outward. In the center of this fortress of flesh, vulnerable calves are protected from the cold and the predator's fangs. The wolves patrol the perimeter, facing an immovable wall of wool and sharp horns that emits a roar of resistance. A bold wolf tries to jump the barrier, but is met by an impact of hundreds of newtons from the armored skull of the alpha male. Just 3 seconds of violent contact are enough for the predator to be thrown through the air, understanding that this wall has no fissures. The pack retreats into the mist, defeated by the discipline and collective strength of the tundra giants. Victory in the Arctic is paid for with patience and energy, maintaining the formation until the last danger disappears over the horizon. The muskox teaches us that when the world becomes hostile, unity is the only shield capable of resisting the coldest storm. They are the guardians of the Ice Age, a living fortress that breathes and resists under the eternal mantle of the North Pole. Beneath the leaden sky of the Arctic, where the horizon is lost in a tide of infinite snow, the echo of thousands of hooves resonates like terrestrial thunder. The caribou, the tireless nomad of the tundra, is a spirit designed for perpetual movement in the coldest reaches of the earth. Weighing up to 180 kilograms, this herbivore possesses a legendary endurance to cross ice deserts without rest. Its wide and concave hooves function as natural shovels, allowing it to walk on deep snow and dig in search of life. In the heart of winter, the caribou's survival depends on a hidden treasure under the ice, reindeer lichen. It uses its keen sense of smell to detect this vital food through a 60-centimeter thick layer of snow. Every calorie extracted from the frozen earth is a small victory against the biting wind blowing at 80 kilometers per hour. The caribou's annual journey is one of the longest land migrations on the planet, covering more than 5,000 kilometers in search of fresh pastures. They cross frozen rivers and steep valleys, forming a stream of flesh and antlers that flows like a living river over the Arctic map. Its double coat, composed of a dense inner layer and hollow outer hairs, traps air to provide perfect thermal insulation. As spring arrives, the females head to the calving grounds, a race against time before the snow melts completely. At this moment of vulnerability, the herd becomes the primary target for predators patrolling the tundra. A pack of Arctic wolves appears on the horizon, grey shadows calculating the weakness of the young and the sick. The caribou cannot fight with brute force. Its only defense is the speed and endurance of its lungs adapted to the cold air. The pursuit erupts when the wolves launch their attack, forcing the herd into a frenetic race through the irregular terrain. The caribou's hooves strike the ground with a force of hundreds of newtons as it tries to maintain group cohesion. Only 3 seconds of hesitation separate the individual from the fangs that close on its flanks in the heat of the flight. The sacrifice of a few allows the great majority to continue their way, ensuring the future of the species in the eternal cycle of the North. The caribou teaches us that survival is not a static destination, but a path that must be traveled with faith and determination. In the white theatre of the Arctic, the nomad of the antlers remains the engine that moves life across the borders of the ice. In the desert of virgin snow of the tundra, where the frigid air whispers among the rocks and the horizon is an infinite white line, a small presence challenges the void. The Arctic hare is not a simple rodent. It is a gust of speed and a masterpiece of tactical invisibility designed for extreme cold. Weighing barely 5 kilograms, its body is wrapped in a dense white coat that allows it to resist temperatures of 40 degrees Celsius below zero. Its hind legs act as powerful springs, while its wide soles serve as natural snowshoes for running over the snow without sinking. It is capable of reaching an astonishing speed of 60 kilometers per hour, becoming a white lightning bolt that challenges the sight of any hunter. However, in this implacable world, the hare is the most coveted trophy for the Arctic fox, the wolf, and the silent snowy owl. A shadow is projected from the sky when the snowy owl descends in an invisible attack, using gravity as its deadliest ally. The hare detects the vibration of the air and launches into a desperate race, zigzagging among the ice mounds with prodigious agility. Only 3 seconds of explosive acceleration decide whether the little runner escapes death or becomes the fuel for another living being. The predator's impact misses by millimeters, and the hare disappears into the distance, leaving only a trail of fine snow floating in the air. Its existence teaches us that in the Arctic, the sharpness of the senses is the only real barrier between life and eternal oblivion. The Arctic hare will continue to be the white shadow running with the wind, a symbol of indomitable persistence on the roof of the world. Beneath the midnight sun that never sets in the Arctic summer, where the tundra extends like a desert of perpetual light, a winged sentinel watches the world. The frigid 5 degrees Celsius air caresses the white plumage of the snowy owl, a ghost of the air designed for tactical perfection. Its golden eyes, fixed and intense, are capable of detecting the slightest movement in the immensity of the frozen steppe. With a wingspan of up to 1.5 meters, this 2-kilogram carnivore is the silent sovereign of the polar skies. In this environment of eternal light, survival depends on a constant dance between patience and insatiable hunger. The snowy owl is a specialist in hunting lemmings, small rodents that are the basis of its existence and that of its chicks. Unlike other owls, its flight is practically noiseless thanks to the unique structure of its feathers that cut the air without vibrating. It patrols at low altitude over the moss and rocks, becoming a white shadow that the wind cannot announce. Its ears, situated asymmetrically on its head, allow it to triangulate the exact position of a prey under the ground or ice. It stops on a granite rock, remaining motionless for hours until the target appears in its field of vision. Suddenly, the owl launches from its watchtower, extending its sharp talons ready to exert a pressure of hundreds of newtons. The lemming tries to take refuge, but the attack is an explosion of precision that occurs in barely 3 seconds of deadly silence. The impact against the ground is dull and definitive, sealing the prey's fate under the weight of the winged predator. With sustenance secured, the snowy owl returns to its nest on the ground, protecting its prize from the greedy gaze of Arctic foxes. The existence of the snowy owl reminds us that in the balance of the tundra, the clearest vision is the one that knows how to observe the world without being heard. Beneath the immense white expanse of the Arctic, where most predators stand out against the snow, a tiny hunter moves almost invisibly through the frozen landscape. The ermine, known scientifically as Mustela erminea, is one of the smallest and most efficient predators of the cold northern regions. During winter, its fur turns completely white, providing perfect camouflage on the snow. Its long, flexible body allows it to move through narrow tunnels and spaces where larger predators cannot enter. Despite its small size, it possesses extraordinary reflexes and a surprising aggressiveness for such a light animal. Lemmings represent one of its most important food sources during the long winter months. The ermine detects activity inside a tunnel under the snow and follows the trail using its keen sense of hearing and smell. It slides quickly through the hidden passages, taking advantage of its small size to approach without being detected by the prey. When it locates the lemming, it launches a lightning attack in the narrow tunnel before the prey finds an exit. In the Arctic, the ermine proves that even the smallest predators can play a fundamental role in the balance of life under the snow. As the Arctic climate gradually changes, a new competitor begins to advance further and further north through the tundra. It is the red fox, a widely distributed species that for generations monsoon inhabited more temperate regions of the northern hemisphere. Its scientific name is Vulpes vulpes, one of the most adaptable and opportunistic mammals on the planet. thanks to less severe winters in some areas, the red fox has gradually expanded its presence into territories near the Arctic. This expansion places it in direct competition with the Arctic fox for food, shelter, and breeding spaces. Larger and more robust than its northern relative, the red fox can gain an advantage in some confrontations over limited resources. Its intelligence allows it to take advantage of practically any food opportunity that appears on the tundra. Ground nesting birds, eggs, small mammals, and remains left by large predators are part of its diet. The fox detects activity near a bird colony and begins to move cautiously through the low vegetation. It advances using terrain depressions and small elevations to hide its silhouette while reducing the distance. When the right opportunity arises, it suddenly accelerates and captures the prey before it can reach shelter. The hunt ends quickly because the combination of intelligence, speed, and adaptation makes the red fox a very efficient hunter. In addition to hunting, it takes advantage of carcasses left by polar bears, wolves, and other large predators when it finds the opportunity. Its growing presence modifies ecological relationships in some regions where the Arctic fox previously predominated. In the modern Arctic, the red fox represents how environmental changes can slowly transform the balance between species sharing the same territory. In the vast silence of the Arctic tundra, under a carpet of snow that hides the earth, beats the smallest and most vital engine of the ecosystem. Here, between the rocks and the frozen moss, the survival of the great predators depends on a being weighing barely 100 grams. The lemming is not just a restless rodent, it is the base of the food pyramid, a spark of life that feeds the entire frozen north. Its compact, furry body is designed to dig tunnels in the subnivean space, where the temperature is more stable. The lemming's existence follows a mysterious and dramatic cycle, with population peaks occurring every 3 or 4 years. When lemmings are abundant, the Arctic flourishes in plenty, allowing foxes and owls to raise their families successfully. However, when their numbers collapse, the silence of hunger extends across the tundra like a frigid and relentless mist. The lemming works tirelessly under the ice, consuming roots and moss to maintain its energy in a world at 20 degrees Celsius below zero. But every trip to the surface is a deadly risk, a direct exposure to the golden eyes patrolling from the air. A white shadow descends in absolute silence. The snowy owl detects the vibration of tiny paws on the fine snow. Suddenly, the predator's talons pierce the white refuge with a precise impact force of several newtons. In just 3 seconds, the lemming's small heart stops beating, transforming its life into the energy of another being. The price of being the world's foundation is eternal vigilance, vitality that defines the rhythm of polar life. The lemming teaches us that in nature, size does not determine importance, but rather the role played in the great fabric of life. It is the invisible architect of abundance, a wisp of flesh and fur that sustains the fate of the ice sovereigns. In the turquoise waters of the Arctic, where ice flows float like crystal islands and the cold is eternal, a presence of pure white color emerges. The beluga whale is not just an inhabitant of the sea, it is the alabaster spirit navigating the borders of the polar ice. With a soft body 4 meters long and a weight of 1,500 kilograms, it lacks a dorsal fin to swim freely under the thick ice layers. Known as the canaries of the sea, these creatures possess a vocal repertoire so rich that it transforms underwater silence into a symphony. They use their flexible forehead, called the melon, to focus sounds and communicate with their family through complex clicks and whistles. Their life is a constant social dance, moving in pods of hundreds of individuals that care for and protect each other in the blue immensity. In this world of water at 2 degrees Celsius, the beluga finds safety near the ice, far from predators who fear getting trapped. They feed on fish and crustaceans, using their ability to maneuver in shallow waters of 20 meters to seek sustenance. Together, the belugas coordinate their movements to corner small schools under the protection of the frozen platforms. Suddenly, the ice cracks and the group dives in a harmony of bubbles to avoid an invisible threat. Just 3 seconds of deep silence are enough for the danger to pass and the melody of the pod to return to the surface. The beluga is a symbol of resilience, capable of navigating through ice labyrinths that would stop any other sea giant. Its white color is its gift from the Arctic, allowing it to blend with the light filtered through the cracks of the frozen world. They teach us that communication is the bridge that unites living beings in the coldest and loneliest environments on Earth. As long as the beluga's song resonates under the ice, the Arctic Ocean will keep its purest soul and its sweetest song. Beneath the fractures of the perpetual ice, where the Arctic Sea keeps its deepest secrets, and the light is a silver line, a creature of legend emerges. The narwhal is not a navigator's fantasy, but the unicorn of the sea, a silent warrior of the coldest waters on Earth. Weighing 1,600 kilograms and with mottled skin, its most amazing feature is a spiral tusk that can reach 3 meters in length. This oversized tooth possesses thousands of nerve endings, becoming an ultra-sensitive sensor that detects changes in salinity and pressure. Its existence is a dangerous dance under the floes, where access to air depends on finding narrow cracks before they close. They are extreme divers, descending to depths of 1,500 meters in search of bottom fish and squid in total darkness. In this low-light environment, the narwhal uses echolocation to map the labyrinth of ice floating above its head. When the group gathers, they cross their tusks in a ritual of tactile communication that reinforces the pack's social bonds. Suddenly, the ice begins to close with a force of thousands of newtons, threatening to trap the group in a deadly trap with no exit. Just 3 seconds of precise navigation allow the leader to find one last opening to breathe before total freezing. Victory over the ice is a temporary truce, as nature always claims its tribute in this realm of absolute cold. The narwhal is the guardian of the Arctic's secrets, a reminder that life can be as strange and beautiful as the ice itself. In the vast white silence of the Arctic Ocean, where centuries flow like drifting ice, dwells a being that has seen the world change since time immemorial. The bowhead whale is not just a giant of the sea, it is a living chronicle of the depths and the longest-lived mammal on Earth. Weighing up to 100,000 kilograms, this mountain of flesh and wisdom patrols the frigid waters with an ancestral calm. Its life can extend for more than 200 years, allowing it to swim in the same ocean as its ancestors while human time fades away. It possesses the thickest fat layer in the animal kingdom, with a thickness of 50 centimeters, acting as thermal armor against absolute cold. Its massive and curved skull is a power tool designed to break ice sheets up to 60 centimeters thick. It inhabits the Arctic permanently, filtering tons of small crustaceans through its baleen plates, which can measure 4 meters long. It navigates through crystal labyrinths where other sea giants would get trapped, using sound to map the world under the ice. Suddenly, the ice sheets begin to close due to the wind, threatening to seal the last opening to breathe. The whale emerges with a force of thousands of newtons, striking the frozen surface with its armored head. The ice fractures under the giant's massive impact, allowing air into its lungs before the world closes. The bowhead whale's success is not speed, but the silent endurance of one who has learned to wait for time to stop. After the battle against the ice, the sovereign of the North returns to the calm of the depths to recover his strength. Its existence teaches us that life's true power resides in the ability to persist when the environment tries to destroy you. As long as the sun keeps rising over the Arctic, the giant of centuries will continue to be the eternal pulse of the frozen ocean. In the eternal abyss of the Arctic Ocean, where darkness is a heavy blanket and the water flows at 1 degree Celsius below zero. A ghost from another era emerges. The Greenland shark is not just a predator. It is a living relic that has navigated these waters since before the birth of modern empires. Weighing up to 1,000 kilograms, this rough-skinned giant moves at a speed of barely 1 kilometer per hour. It is the longest-lived vertebrate on Earth, capable of living more than 400 years in the sepulchral silence of the marine depths. Its body contains natural antifreeze compounds that allow it to thrive in conditions that would stop the heart of any other being. Its eyes are often invaded by parasites that take away its sight, but this monster does not need to see to track the scent of death. It is a scavenger of the darkness, detecting seal or whale carcasses from kilometers away with its infallible smell. Its strategy is absolute patience, waiting for time and gravity to deliver its sustenance on the sea floor. Suddenly, it detects a seal resting near the bottom and slides toward it like a shadow that the water cannot feel. Its jaws open with a slow but destructive force of hundreds of newtons, sealing the fate of the unsuspecting prey. Just 3 seconds of contact are enough for the colossus of the depths to secure a meal that will sustain it for weeks. The victory of the Greenland shark resides not in the struggle, but in its ability to persist when the entire world stops. Every wound on its skin is a mark of centuries, a testimony of a life that has ignored the passing of the seasons. It teaches us that true strength is not speed, but infinite endurance under the weight of time and the ocean. The ancient monster will continue patrolling the abyss, being the guardian of the secrets that only ice and darkness can protect. Among the vertical cliffs that defy Arctic gravity, where rock meets 100 km/h winds, thousands of voices break the ice's silence. These seabirds are not simple inhabitants of the air. They are the winged sentinels who have turned the abyss into their sanctuary of life. The puffin, the murre, and the Arctic tern form a tide of feathers that patrols the seas at 2 degrees Celsius below zero. Weighing barely 500 grams, a murre can dive to depths of 100 meters in a desperate race to find fish. The Arctic tern performs the longest migration on the planet, traveling more than 70,000 kilometers each year to pursue the eternal sun. Their nests are barely small ledges in the stone, where space is won with bravery against the free fall toward the churning ocean. Danger lurks from above, where the glaucous gull patrols like a pirate of the air in search of eggs and unprotected chicks. Life in the colony is a constant battle of noise and movement, where survival depends on the strength of the group. Suddenly, a school of silvery fish appears near the surface, activating the instinct of thousands of winged hunters. Puffins launch from the cliffs, folding their wings to become projectiles that hit the water with a force of several newtons. Beneath the cold surface, they use their wings as flippers to chase their prey in a labyrinth of bubbles and currents. Only 3 seconds of frenetic immersion are necessary for the bird to secure its prize of small fish in its colourful beak. They return to the cliff with the vital food, defying the gusts of wind that try to knock them against the sharp rocks. The success of the hunt guarantees the growth of the next generation, which must learn to fly before the total winter returns. These seabirds teach us that fragility is only an appearance when the spirit is forged in the wind and salt of the frozen frontier. The Arctic is not just a place on the map, it is a kingdom of shadows and crystals where the polar night reigns for 6 continuous months. Without the sun's caress, the temperature drops to lethal levels of 50 degrees Celsius below zero, freezing the very air that living beings breathe. Hurricane force winds of 100 kilometers per hour sweep the tundra, turning fine snow into projectiles that blind any traveler. In this frigid battlefield, body fat is the most valuable currency, a thermal armor several kilograms thick. Evolution dictates the change of attire. Fur turns pure white to steal visibility from the death that patrols the ice. The frozen sea is a treacherous floor that expands and contracts, a vital platform for the polar bear to find its prey. Summer arrives like a brief sigh, a 24-hour explosion of light that awakens the life latent under the permafrost. Hunger is a constant shadow. In total winter, finding a single calorie requires an effort of thousands of newtons of will. Some choose flight, performing epic migrations of 5,000 kilometers southward before the world closes completely. Others stay, relying on sophisticated circulatory systems that keep heat in the core while extremities touch the frost. Food scarcity redefines the wild hierarchy, where predators must become scavengers to survive the eternal night. It is a macabre dance between life and ice, where only 3 seconds of exposure without protection can mark the end of an existence. The Arctic does not forgive weakness, but rewards the patience of those who have learned to beat to the rhythm of absolute cold. The polar atmosphere is the great sculptor of resilience, forging beings that are, in essence, pieces of ice with a soul. As long as the Earth's axis keeps turning, the Arctic will remain the ultimate test of life's ability to flourish in the void. Today, the roof of the world faces its greatest threat as millennial ice vanishes at an alarming rate before the advance of heat. The massive loss of sea ice drastically reduces the polar bear's hunting grounds, forcing the large carnivore to swim hundreds of kilometers in a desperate search for firm ground. Ancient migration routes of caribou and seabirds are altered, breaking the balance of an ecosystem that took eons to perfect under the cold. With every 1 degree Celsius increase in global temperature, the planet's white heart beats more weakly and glaciers retreat toward oblivion. The opening of new naval routes and industrial exploitation increase human pressure on a sanctuary that was previously unreachable by ambition. The Arctic's melting is not just a local tragedy. It is a domino effect that threatens to alter the global climate and submerge coasts thousands of kilometers away. Only a few seconds remain on history's clock to act and protect the living legends that still patrol the frozen void of the tundra. Protecting this crystal kingdom is a moral duty to ensure that the wild spirit of the North does not become a mere memory etched in stone. Nature teaches us that respect for balance is the only way for the ice sovereigns to continue reigning over the white horizon. As long as the silence of the snow continues to wrap the pole, the world will keep its purest soul and the hope of a future under the Arctic sky. Subscribe to the channel to not miss our next content. Don't forget to share your opinions through the comments section. Before humans conquered the planet's highest peaks, before science understood life on the roof of the world, there already existed a kingdom where only the strongest could breathe and survive. In the heart of the Himalayas, amidst eternal snow, thin air, and infinite abysses, the lords of the mountains move in silence, dominating a territory where every step can be fatal. Welcome to the Himalayas, the king that rules over the highest peaks in the world. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to give us more motivation to continue creating quality content. Don't forget to comment below what you thought of the video and tell us where you are watching from so we can talk together. Let's begin. Below the Himalayan mountains, where humid forests mix with grasslands and hidden rivers, the Bengal tiger appears as the absolute lord of the lowlands. Its scientific name is Panthera tigris tigris, a powerful subspecies capable of commanding respect even before fully showing itself. An adult male can exceed 220 kilograms, with a muscular body designed for strength, stealth, and explosive short-distance attacks. Its dark stripes break up the shape of its body among shadows, bamboo, tall grass, and damp forest logs. Unlike hunters that rely on long chases, the tiger dominates through patience, cover, and a nearly perfect ambush. Its front paws are enormous, its shoulders concentrate extraordinary strength, and its canines can exceed 7 centimeters. In the forests of the Himalayan foothills, it hunts deer, wild boar, and gore calves when the opportunity appears among the dense vegetation. The tiger detects a deer feeding near a clearing and lowers its body until it disappears into the tall grass. It moves slowly against the wind, placing each paw with precision to approach without breaking branches or alerting the prey. When the distance becomes minimal, the tiger launches itself with brutal power, brings down the deer, and concentrates all its weight on the attack. The hunt ends quickly, because in the shadow of the forest, a single mistake by the prey can decide everything. Its presence exerts constant pressure on large herbivores, forcing them to move, stay vigilant, and avoid areas that are too closed off. Although it dominates as the top predator, it also shares a difficult landscape with clouded leopards, bears, and other large competitors of the forest. In some forest borders, its territory approaches the human world, creating tensions over space, prey, and ancient jungle paths. As a keystone species, the tiger helps regulate deer and wild boar populations, keeping the balance of the lowlands healthier. Under the Himalayas, the Bengal tiger doesn't just hunt among shadows. It sustains the invisible order of a wild kingdom that depends on its power. Above the low forests, where the air turns thin and rocks replace trees, the snow leopard appears as the ghost of the mountain. Its scientific name is Panthera uncia, a feline adapted to survive on cold slopes, steep valleys, and wind-swept ridges. Unlike the tiger of the lowlands, the snow leopard dominates a vertical kingdom where every leap can decide between life or a fall. Its thick, pale grey fur, covered with dark spots, blends with snow, rock, and shadow until it becomes almost invisible. Its long heavy tail functions as a rudder during jumps and as a blanket when resting under extreme temperatures. Its wide paws distribute its weight over the snow, while hair-covered pads help it walk silently over rock and ice. At these heights, its main prey includes parels, blue sheep, mountain goats, marmots, and pikas that live between crevices and impossible slopes. The snow leopard detects a young parel separated from the group on a rocky slope and lowers its body against the cold stone. It advances soundlessly along the narrow ledge, using rocks, snow, and changes in height to approach without revealing its silhouette. When the distance is reduced, it leaps from the slope with sudden power and directs its claws toward the prey before it can reach another rock. The hunt is decided in seconds, because on the mountain, a minimal loss of balance can change the fate of any animal. Although it rarely shows itself, its presence keeps mountain herds moving and prevents a single species from consuming too much alpine grass. By controlling populations of barrels, goats, marmots, and pikas, It helps sustain the fragile balance of high mountain ecosystems. Its greatest challenge is not always its prey, but habitat loss, conflict with herders, and the reduction of safe wild spaces. In the frozen mountains of the Himalayas, the snow leopard does not rule with roars, but with silence, camouflage, and an almost supernatural elegance. On the steep slopes of the Himalayas arises the bharal, or blue sheep, the most resilient inhabitant of the peaks and the engine of wildlife. Known scientifically as Pseudoes naior, this 75-kilogram ungulate is the fundamental pillar that sustains the trophic web at the most extreme altitudes. Its bluish-grey fur is a masterpiece of mimicry, allowing it to blend with granite rocks and become invisible to predators. It inhabits precipices up to 5,000 meters in altitude, where it uses its hardened hooves to navigate verticality with supreme agility and precision. It lives in social flocks of up to 50 individuals, relying on collective vigilance to detect any biological anomaly on the alpine horizon. The blue sheep is the preferred prey of the snow leopard, providing the stamina necessary for the large feline to survive the long winter. In addition to the feline, the flock faces the tactical pursuit of the Himalayan wolf, an endurance hunter that tirelessly patrols the frozen plateaus. Vulnerable offspring are the target of the golden eagle, which descends from the sky with a mechanical force of 1,500 newtons to snatch them from the cliffs. As a keystone species, the bharal regulates the growth of alpine grasses, maintaining the dynamic balance of biodiversity on the roof of the world. The blue sheep remains as the guardian of the slopes, the spirit of the rock that ensures the heartbeat of the Himalayas never stops. In the forbidden peaks of the Himalayas, where the air is so thin that every breath is a victory, the world is divided between the abyss and survival. At an altitude of 5,000 meters, where gravity seems like an optional law, dwells the Himalayan tahr, an acrobat with thick fur and an iron will. This 70-kilogram ungulate is not just prey. It is a marvel of evolution designed to thrive where others would only find death. Its hooves are precision tools, with a flexible core that adheres to smooth stone and hard edges that find support in invisible cracks. The tahr lives in constant balance on vertical stone walls, turning granite cliffs into its sanctuary and fortress. However, in this theatre of stone, danger has a silent name: the snow leopard, the grey ghost of the heights. The constant presence of the predator forces the tahr to live in groups, using dozens of eyes to watch every angle of the steep terrain. In alpine grasslands, the group feeds with extreme vigilance, ready to retreat to the most dangerous cliffs at the slightest sign of danger. Communication is vital. A warning snort from a dominant male can set the entire herd in motion in fractions of a second. The hunt ends with the tahr safe in a crevice where no other living being would dare to set foot without falling into the abyss. Each winter, the tahr's fur grows thicker, an armor of wool against the gelid wind that lashes the ridges of the world. Survival here is not a matter of brute force, but of the ability to maintain balance when the whole world is trying to knock you down. The Himalayan tahr teaches us that the safest refuge is often found in the place that everyone else fears to tread. It is the eternal guardian of the heights, a blade of indomitable life engraved forever on the stone walls of the roof of the world. On the desolate plains of the roof of the world, where oxygen is a luxury and the icy wind of the Tibetan plateau carves the landscape, arises a predator forged in adversity. The Himalayan wolf is not a common canid. It is an ancient lineage that has evolved to breathe where other lungs would simply collapse. With dense fur of ochre tones and infinite endurance, this 35-kilogram hunter patrols territories exceeding 4,000 meters in height. In this desert of rock and ice, survival is a war of attrition where every calorie counts and an error is paid with extinction. But the wolves are not alone in this fight. They share the kingdom with the snow leopard, the solitary ghost that stalks from the cliffs. Competition is fierce, as both predators covet the same prey, such as the bharal or the cliff deer, in an environment of scarce resources. While the leopard relies on individual ambush, the Himalayan wolf deploys the unstoppable force of collective intelligence. The pack functions as a coordinated war machine, capable of traveling 40 kilometers in a single night, tracking a group of sheep. They use low-frequency howls that travel through the valleys to gather the warriors and disorient their targets before the attack. In the twilight of dawn, at a temperature of 30 degrees Celsius below zero, the wolves position themselves strategically, surrounding their prey. The trackers scare the sheep toward the open terrain of the plateau, where the leopard's slope advantage disappears. Here, on the frozen plain, begins a pursuit of pure endurance, a race where the wolves' hearts pump oxygen with amazing efficiency. The pack takes turns leading the race, exhausting the lungs of the chosen bharal, while maintaining a constant speed of 50 kilometers per hour. The circle of shadows closes, and the prey's resistance crumbles before the incessant harassment. In a burst of coordination, 3 Himalayan wolves block the path while the alpha launches the final attack on the neck. The fight is brief and efficient. The silence of the high plateau is only broken by the sound of the pack's victory. The success of the hunt ensures warmth for the group, but the vigilance does not end. as the smell of meat attracts other hungry competitors. This rivalry with the snow leopard defines the balance of the ecosystem, a dance of power between solitary stealth and pack tactics. Survival in the Himalayas is not a gift of nature. It is a right claimed every day with sweat and blood under the infinite sky. The Himalayan wolf teaches us that when the environment tries to suffocate you, the unity of the pack is the only breath that matters. They are the strategists of altitude, a grey tide flowing over the ice, reminding us that in extreme cold, no one survives alone. When the spring sun begins to lick the slopes of the Himalayas, the white silence is broken under the weight of a titan emerging from the shadows. The Himalayan brown bear, a rare and majestic subspecies, emerges from its long lethargy with contained strength and an unshakable will. With a massive body that can weigh up to 400 kilograms, this colossus is the largest mammal of these desolate heights. After 6 months of hibernation, its fat reserve has been exhausted, and hunger becomes a fierce engine that dominates each of its instincts. At the beginning of the ephemeral summer, the bear patrols alpine meadows more than 4,000 meters high, searching for any available energy source. It uses its 10-centimeter claws, not just to defend itself, but as precision tools to dig up the frozen earth in search of tender roots. With amazing strength, it flips rocks weighing more than 100 kilograms with a single movement, looking for insects and larvae hiding underneath. The brown bear is an opportunistic strategist that does not let food escape, hunting marmots with a patience that contradicts its size. The smell of fresh prey attracts its attention from kilometers away, leading it to a battlefield where danger lurks in every corner. Arriving at an abandoned carcass, the bear encounters a pack of Himalayan wolves that refuse to give up their spoils without a fight. Despite the wolves' numerical superiority, the giant stands on its hind legs, reaching an imposing height of almost 2 meters. A single guttural roar and a blow from its massive paw are enough to displace the competitors, claiming its right as sovereign of the mountain. Feeding success is vital before the temperature drops again to 25 degrees Celsius below zero, and snow covers the world once more. Its existence is an eternal cycle of endurance and power, a lesson in how patience and brute force coexist in the heart of the storm. The Himalayan brown bear teaches us that true greatness is measured by the ability to be reborn with more strength after the darkest winter. Over the cliffs of the Himalayas, the golden eagle glides with open wings, like a golden shadow suspended between wind, rock, and sky. Its scientific name is Aquila chrysaetos, one of the most powerful and respected raptors of the world's mountains. With a wingspan that can exceed 2 meters, it dominates the air currents to monitor huge territories from great height. Its eyes detect minimal movements on rocky slopes, alpine meadows, and burrow entrances hidden among stones. Marmots, pikas, hares, birds, and ungulate offspring are part of its diet in these cold and open heights. The presence of the golden eagle changes the behavior of small animals, forcing them to live near crevices, rocks, and underground shelters. When the eagle detects a marmot far from its burrow, it tilts its wings and fixes its gaze on a single point of the slope. It descends in silence from a great height, using the wind and the slope to gain speed without losing control. In the decisive instant, it dives with tremendous speed and extends its claws toward the prey before it can reach the shelter's entrance. The hunt ends in seconds, because from the open sky, the golden eagle turns height into an advantage almost impossible to overcome. Its attack depends not just on strength, but on calculation, vision, and a perfect reading of air currents. In the mountains, even a shadow crossing the ground can be enough for pikas and marmots to disappear among the stones. As the apex predator of the alpine sky, it helps control populations of small mammals and birds on open slopes. In the elevated landscapes of the Himalayas, the golden eagle doesn't just fly over the mountain, it governs the fear that moves under its wings. In the thermal currents that caress the highest peaks of the Himalayas, a winged sentinel observes the world from an altitude of 8,000 meters. The Himalayan vulture, with a wingspan exceeding 3 meters, is the silent purifier of the most extreme ecosystems on Earth. In this desert of rock and ice, where life is fragile, its role is fundamental to closing the cycle of existence. After harsh winters or the hunts of the snow leopard and the Himalayan wolf, the remains of life become its sustenance. Its eyes are capable of detecting a carcass from kilometers away, even under a temperature of 15 degrees Celsius below zero. From the lower slopes where the Bengal tiger dominates, to the ridges where the golden eagle claims its share, the vulture waits its turn. It does not use force to kill, but patience to find what time and other predators have left behind. When it descends, it does not arrive alone. A congregation of wings gathers in a frenetic dance for survival. Its long, featherless neck is designed to penetrate the most difficult cavities of 100-kilogram animals. By consuming organic remains, it eliminates dangerous pathogens, acting as the mountain's natural sanitary barrier. It can fly for hours without flapping its wings, taking advantage of air currents to patrol hundreds of square kilometers. In the hierarchy of scavengers, its imposing size gives it priority over foxes and ravens prowling the feast. Each bite ensures the energy necessary to return to its nests built on the most inaccessible cliffs. The Himalayan vulture teaches us that in nature nothing is wasted, and that death is the fertilizer for future life. It is the guardian of purity on the roof of the world, a majestic shadow that maintains balance under the infinite sky. Among the veil of mist that envelops the cloud forests of the Himalayas, where moss embraces ancient trunks, dwells a being that seems taken from a fairy tale. The red panda is not a giant of brute force, but a cinnamon and fire-colored gem that hides in the density of the foliage. Weighing barely 5 kilograms, this small mammal is an acrobat of the forest canopy, moving with an almost unreal delicacy. Its dense reddish fur is not just beauty. It is thermal armor against the cold of 3,000 meters altitude, where the temperature is often 10 degrees Celsius. In this realm of constant humidity, the red panda depends on a vital resource that defines its existence: tender bamboo shoots. Its paws are equipped with an extended radial bone, a false thumb that allows it to hold branches with amazing precision while feeding. Despite its peaceful appearance, life in the cloud forest is a delicate balance between abundance and constant danger. From the shadows, the clouded leopard watches with hungry eyes, waiting for a slip-up from the small tree inhabitant. Red panda cubs, vulnerable and slow, are the primary target of massive raptors patrolling the grey sky. The forest silence is broken when a shadow launches from a higher branch, forcing the red panda to react in milliseconds. The danger fades into the mist, but the price of the scare is a waste of precious energy in an environment where food is selective. However, the greatest threat does not come from canines, but from the silent disappearance of its bamboo homes. Every square kilometer of lost forest is a sentence for this mysterious treasure that has nowhere else to go. The red panda is the guardian of the fragility of the Himalayas, a reminder that the purest beauty is often the easiest to break. Its existence teaches us that the value of a life is not measured by its strength, but by its importance in the invisible fabric of nature. In the solitude of the heights, this small being keeps dreaming among the clouds, hoping that the world decides to protect its green sanctuary. To protect the red panda is to protect the very soul of the highest mountains on Earth. It is a living treasure walking the thin line between legend and reality in the mystic heart of the Himalayas. In cold mountain forests, the Eurasian lynx moves like a spotted shadow among snow, dark trunks, and moss-covered rocks. Its scientific name is lynx lynx, the largest of all lynxes and one of the most discreet hunters in Eurasia. Its pointed ears carry black tufts that help pick up faint sounds among branches, snow, and movements hidden under the forest. Its wide paws function like natural snowshoes, distributing body weight and allowing it to walk on soft snow with less effort. An adult can weigh between 18 and 30 kilograms, although some large males can exceed that figure in cold regions rich in prey. Its thick fur protects it from the cold, while dark spots break up its silhouette among shadows, bushes, and irregular snow. Unlike the wolf that depends on the pack, the lynx hunts alone, relying on silence, surprise, and short distance. On forest edges and cold slopes, it can stalk hares, birds, small mammals, and vulnerable ungulate offspring. The lynx detects a hare moving near snowy bushes and lowers its body until it is hidden behind trunks. It advances step by step over the snow, placing its wide paws with precision so as not to break the forest silence. When the hare moves away from cover, the lynx leaps from the shadow with a brief explosion and cuts off the escape route. The hunt ends by surprise, because in deep snow, a silent hunter can win before the prey reaches speed. In these mountains, it also competes for food with foxes, Himalayan wolves, and in the highest zones, even with the snow leopard. However, it avoids unnecessary conflict, moving along discreet routes and hunting at times when other predators may be far away. As an ambush predator, it helps regulate small animal populations and maintains natural tension at the edges of the montane forest. In the cold Himalayan landscape, the Eurasian lynx does not dominate with noise, but with patience, fine hearing, and a presence that disappears before being seen. Among the boulder fields where the air cuts like glass, a small spark of life challenges the immensity of winter. The Himalayan pika, with its rodent-like appearance but rabbit-like soul, is the smallest and most persistent engineer of the heights. Weighing barely 200 grams, this mammal does not hibernate, forcing it into a constant battle against lack of food under the snow. During the summer, it collects and dries vegetation on the rocks, creating vital hay stores for the extreme cold months. It lives in deep crevices of stones, transforming the mineral labyrinth into its bunker against predators patrolling the sky and land. Its position in the food pyramid is critical, being the main sustenance for the snow leopard, the golden eagle, and the Himalayan wolf. The pressure is suffocating at the shadow of a lynx or a fox. The pika emits a high-frequency whistle before disappearing into the darkness. Only 3 seconds of distraction make the difference between returning to its nest or becoming energy for a hungry hunter. The pika's victory is invisibility, always staying a few meters from its refuge against the roar of the icy wind. It teaches us that in the immensity of the mountains, the smallest life is the pillar that sustains the entire Himalayan ecosystem. on the infinite prairies that stretch under the shadows of 7,000-meter peaks, where the wind combs the short grass, dwells a thick-furred sentinel. The Himalayan marmot is not just a rodent, it is the beating heart of high mountain ecosystems in Asia. With a weight that can reach 9 kilograms, this robust mammal is a master of excavation and social life in the heights. Its life is a race against time, taking advantage of the ephemeral summer to accumulate necessary fat reserves before disappearing underground. During the winter, it dives into a deep sleep for 6 months, reducing its heart rate to resist temperatures of 30 degrees Celsius below zero. While the group feeds on fresh shoots, sentinels stand on their hind legs, scanning the horizon with absolute vigilance. In this biological chessboard, the marmot is a key piece coveted by wolves, snow leopards, and hungry foxes. Every movement, every shadow crossing the sun is analyzed by the sharp eyes of these watchers of the alpine ecosystem. But the most lethal danger usually comes from the deep blue, where the golden eagle patrols with claws ready for impact. A sharp, piercing whistle tears the calm of the meadow, an alarm signal that activates the immediate response of the entire colony. Suddenly, a massive shadow launches from the clouds, descending at over 200 kilometers per hour toward an unsuspecting individual. The air whistles through the eagle's feathers while the marmots dive headfirst into their protective tunnels. Only 3 seconds decide if the marmot reaches the safety of the earth or if it becomes fuel for the predator's next flight. The eagle hits the empty ground with a dull thud, kicking up dust and stones, while the colony remains hidden in the underground labyrinth. The hunter retreats unsuccessfully toward the ridges, but the marmot's vigilance does not decrease. It knows that danger never sleeps in the Himalayas. Its work as a soil architect creates shelters for other small species and aerates the land of alpine grasslands. It is the golden link, transforming the energy of plants into the force that sustains the most powerful carnivores of the range. The unity of the group and the precision of its sonic signals are its only defense in a world designed to consume them. The marmot's existence teaches us that the language of alert is the song of survival in the forbidden heights. Being small does not mean being weak when you have the collective intelligence to build fortresses under eternal cold. The meadow sentinel will continue to watch, a note of vibrant life engraved in the majestic silence of the roof of the world. In the alluvial plains of the low valleys, where the Himalayas cast their eternal shadow over 4-meter-high grasslands, dwells a tank of flesh and bone. The Indian rhinoceros, with a massive weight of up to 2,200 kilograms, is a living fortress protected by thick folded skin armor. Its most imposing feature is its single horn, a solid keratin spear it uses to defend its territory in foggy swamps. While it dives into the waters to feed on aquatic plants, the rhino creates an image of serene power that contrasts with the agility of the peak predators. Although adults have no natural enemies, vulnerable calves must be protected from the silent ambush of the Bengal tiger stalking among the undergrowth. Faced with any threat, this giant can charge at a surprising speed of 40 kilometers per hour, becoming an unstoppable avalanche of brute force. The Indian rhinoceros reminds us that true strength lies in the endurance of an ancient lineage fighting to preserve its home against the expansion of the modern world. Among the frost-covered branches of temperate forests, where the Himalayan air is a constant whisper among ancient cedars, moves a shadow of ashy fur. The Himalayan grey langur is not an ordinary primate, but a master of the heights challenging the limits of alpine vegetation. Adapted to live at altitudes of up to 4,000 meters, its body is protected by a layer of dense hair that insulates it from temperatures dropping below 0 degrees Celsius. Its survival depends on social structure, living in groups of up to 50 individuals where vigilance is the law of the family. They are natural acrobats, capable of making 10-meter leaps between treetops or navigating steep valleys with agility that defies gravity. In this theatre of shadows, death stalks from below with the Bengal tiger, and from the air with the lightning attack of the golden eagle. A sentinel male always occupies the highest position, scanning the environment with sharp eyes for the silhouette of a clouded leopard hidden among the leaves. A hoarse, rhythmic cry erupts in the air, an alarm signal that stops play and feeding in a fraction of a second. Faced with danger, the troop becomes a burst of grey movement, launching toward the safety of the highest cliffs where no land predator can follow them. The grey langur teaches us that in the wild heart of the mountain, the voice of one is the salvation of all in the endless dance of life. In the frozen steppes of the Tibetan Plateau, at an altitude of 5,000 meters, the air is so thin that only the strongest can breathe. The wild yak is not a simple pack animal. It is a dark-furred colossus that reigns over the ice desert. With a massive weight of 1,000 kilograms, this giant is much larger and more aggressive than its domesticated relatives. Its body is wrapped in a layer of long, dense wool that allows it to withstand extreme temperatures of 40 degrees Celsius below zero. It possesses a large capacity heart and lungs, designed to pump life in places where oxygen is a constant scarcity. Unlike the domestic yak, the wild one is an indomitable storm of muscle that does not accept the presence of man. It survives by feeding on frozen grass and lichens, using its strong hooves to break the ice crust on the ground. The group structure is its shield, a collective defense formation protecting the most vulnerable members of the herd. The Himalayan wolf watches from a distance, looking for an opportunity to separate a calf from the wall of flesh. When predators approach, adults form an impenetrable circle, exposing their sharp horns like war spears. A frontal charge from a 1,000-kilogram alpha male is enough to deter any enemy seeking an easy meal. The struggle is a test of will, where the yak's brute power defeats the desperate hunger of the wolf pack. Defense. Success ensures the new generation can grow to inherit the dominance of the highest mountains. The wild yak teaches us that absolute endurance is the only valid currency in the market of extreme survival. It is the undisputed sovereign of the clouds, a mountain of hair and strength breathing where the earth touches the sky. In the water mirrors the Tibetan plateau at 4,500 meters high. Dawn is dressed in a mystic dance among the mist. The black-necked crane is the only one of its species that has chosen the clouds as its permanent home for breeding and life. With its 1.4-meter high elegance, its white body contrasts with the deep black of its neck and its vibrant red crown. During the breeding season, the wetland's solitude is broken by a choreography of leaps and calls echoing in the sacred valleys. They build their nests on mud islets surrounded by gelid water, seeking a natural barrier against hunters stalking on the shore. A Tibetan fox slides silently, its eyes fixed on the nest, representing the hope of a new generation under the high mountain sun. Detecting the threat, the crane deploys its 2-meter wingspan and launches a war cry that breaks the swamp's peace. Only 3 seconds of confrontation are enough for the predator to retreat before the protective ferocity of these birds that defend their home with their soul. The crane's survival is a reminder of the fragility of Himalayan wetlands, ecosystems that maintain the balance of life in the heights. The crane's spirit teaches us that even the most sublime beauty requires unshakable courage to flourish on the roof of the world. The Himalayas is not just a mountain range, it is a colossus of thin air where the atmosphere runs out and life becomes a sacred challenge. At 6,000 meters high, oxygen decreases by 50%, forcing every lung to work to the limit of its physical possibilities. Winter here is not a season, but a constant 8-month siege where the temperature drops to 40 degrees Celsius below zero. Hurricane-force winds of 150 kilometers per hour sweep the ridges, capable of freezing any trace of animal heat in seconds. Avalanches are the roars of the mountain, tons of snow descending at lethal speeds, erasing paths and nests in their way. In this vertical battlefield, adaptation is the only currency of change to avoid being devoured by the fury of the environment. Animals like the wild yak possess gigantic lungs and blood, rich in hemoglobin to capture every available air molecule. Dense fur and accumulated fat are biological armor against the gelid crystal that perpetually floats in the alpine atmosphere. The constant presence of predators like the snow leopard and the Himalayan wolf molds the iron will of herbivores. The blue sheep and the tahr are forced to climb impossible cliffs to seek refuge where the predator cannot easily follow them. The golden eagle's visual acuity forces marmots to live in deep tunnels, turning the cold earth into their survival bunker. The perfect camouflage of ashy fur is an evolutionary response to disappear in a world dominated by grey rock and white snow. In low areas, the shadow of the Bengal tiger pushes species toward the heights, creating a vertical migration of constant endurance. Only 3 seconds of neglect under a white storm can mean the difference between life and eternal oblivion in the abyss. The Himalayan climate is the great sculptor of life, an implacable judge who only grants the crown to those who know how to resist. Today, the ice giant is crying. The glaciers that have fed Asia for millennia are vanishing under unprecedented heat. The snowline retreats every year, pushing the snow leopard and the blue sheep toward increasingly narrow and hostile peaks. With the disappearance of natural borders, the Bengal tiger ascends to the heights, invading the Himalayan wolf's ancestral territory in fierce competition. Hunger forces large carnivores to descend toward villages, unleashing a bloody conflict with herders defending their livestock. Every meter of ice lost breaks a link in the biological balance, leaving creatures like the red panda without their cloud refuge. Survival no longer depends just on instinct or strength, but on the ability to resist a world that changes faster than evolution. Protecting the Himalayas is ensuring the water flow for billions and saving the last frontier of extreme biodiversity. The future of these living legends is in our hands. Their disappearance would be the most bitter silence in the Earth's history. May the golden eagle's cry and the snow leopard's track remain the essence of the mountains, and not a memory engraved in stone. In the end, only those who respect the mountain's rhythm will be able to inherit the peace of its eternal peaks. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next content. Don't forget to share your opinions through the comments section.